A very good morning. You're watching NewsX and I'm Shivani Singh. India's chicken's neck has always been seen as one of the country's biggest strategic vulnerabilities. A narrow 22-kilometer corridor connecting the entire northeast to mainland India, squeezed between Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh and very close to China's Chumbi Valley. But the latest developments show that New Delhi is no longer treating Siliguri as a weak point. It is turning it into a fortress. The Bengal government handing over nearly 120 acres of land to the centre is a major strategic move. This is not routine infrastructure expansion. India is building redundancy into the corridor so that no single disruption can choke access to the northeast. Highways are being widened, rail networks are being expanded from double track to 6-track systems, and a massive underground railway network has been between Teen Milehat and Rangapani is being planned nearly 24 meters below the surface. At the same time, abandoned World War II era airstrips are being revived. And new military garrisons are also coming up near the Bangladesh border. The message is clear. India is preparing for every contingency: military conflict, sabotage air attacks or supply disruptions. For years, chicken's neck symbolized vulnerability. Today, India is trying to convert that vulnerability into resilience, and that is a major strategic shift. Let's in fact take a look at what all has been handed over to the centre, because this will get you an overview of why this area and this corridor is of strategic importance and why it has been called one of the vulnerabilities over the past few years. So let's look at Suvendu Adhikari's big move, who is the Chief Minister of West Bengal. He just announced that 120 acres of land will be handed over to the centre. Now, let's look at this land in particular, what all will be handed over. So, this is the Siliguri Corridor, or the chicken's neck as you call it over here. This is a 22-kilometer narrow corridor. This lies between, we have Bhutan, we have Nepal, we also have Bangladesh over here, and in fact we have, it is very close to China's Chumbi Valley as well. So, very strategic corridor. If you cut off or if you manage to capture this particular 22-kilometer stretch, entire access to the northeast is hampered. The rail networks, the road networks, the supply pipelines that are there, it all passes through here. So, those were in fact the areas. You have Darjeeling over there, you have Siliguri. So, all those areas have now been handed over to the centre. So, like we pointed out, this is Bangladesh over here, this is Nepal, this is Bhutan, and over here at the narrowest, the chicken's neck is only 22-kilometer wide. So, over the years, this has been regarded as a very vulnerable point. If you manage to capture or hamper this 22-kilometer area, you will be able to cut off all supplies, all routes and all rail networks to the northeast. So, this is why this move was in fact very important. Now, let's look at how we are bolstering the chicken's neck. We are turning a vulnerability into one of our strengths. So, we've shown you on that big map over here. You can see it's still here, and we have in fact marked out all the countries. The biggest move is that abandoned World War II airstrips are now being revived. So, abandoned World War II airstrips are there that are being revived. So, that will be used in cases of emergency. This is big move number one. Let's look at the next move that we are in fact doing to make sure that the chicken's neck corridor is bolstered. We are expanding the 4-track railway line to a 6-line railway track. So, earlier, because of the narrowness of the corridor, only a 4-track railway corridor was there. We are expanding that so that our networks are also expanding. Let's look at big move number 3, strategic underground railway network through the corridor. This is of vital importance because just in case you're facing, air in fact attacks, you make sure that you have other contingency plans in place. So you have an underground railway network that will help supply, to the areas in the northeast and help in countering the disruptions. Big move number 4 is 3 new garrisons have been set up near the Bangladesh border. Obviously, we are seeing a lot of, movement towards the Bangladesh border that the country has now been able to fortify with new minute, making sure that we are bolstering that through these military garrisons. Let's in fact go across to our guests who are joining us on this broadcast, Padma Shri Dr. A.V.S. Mani, who is a former Under Secretary, Ministry of Home Affairs. Thank you so much, sir, for taking out your time and for speaking to NewsX. We appreciate it. A very good morning to you. We're talking about a very strategic move by the West Bengal government over there, handing over 120 acres of land parcels of the chicken snake area. I want to understand from your perspective how important and significant this move really is.
Very, very important move strategically. Military-wise, strategically, for Indian security perspective, it's extremely important move. We should congratulate the Honorable Prime Minister for this and the 2 Chief Ministers of the 2 different states. Because one of the things which has always plagued or put the things behind all the security initiatives, like even the border fencing, has been the refusal of Mamata Banerjee's government to share the allot land. So on the entire border, right from Chicken Neck area till this Gangasagar part. In fact, recently the Supreme Court has also directed her. So that is one basic point which has been constraining the security in the area, and also the free movement of people which was controlled by Hemanta Biswas in the last 5 years, but in the Bengal area it has been already happening, and Chicken Neck is extremely vulnerable from many perspectives. You could find Chinese goods being sold in Siliguri markets very brazenly because there was no control, because it used to come through Nepal, it used to come through Bhutan, it used to come through the northeast, the Mizoram area via Myanmar, and also through the Sikkim. So there are several sources. If this is taken over by the government of India, I'm sure that will be the first step they will take. And number 2 is the connectivity with northeast. They have already connected with Mizoram. Sairang Rajdhani from Delhi is already on, it's operational. I'm sure Dibrugarh Rajdhani is also operational with Nagaland. So we have our Arunachal Pradesh and Arunachal Pradesh and Meghalaya. They are also 2 basic states which will get connectivity because of the 6-line railway lines. And also a very important point is Siliguri, this Gangtok airport is operational, but economic viability is not there, the capacity of people to pay. So there can also be a separate line, loop line going from Siliguri to Gangtok and even further, and that will be a game changer for the Sikkim, both for security purposes, economic prosperity. Sikkim has got immense material, immense resources which can be harnessed. So I'm sure the Honorable Prime Minister is looking at the Look East policy, and which is a very, very vital and important step in the national perspective, both for economics as well as for security. That's what I wanted to underline.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Mani, for taking out your time and for speaking to NewsX. Let me also go across to our other guest who's joining us on this broadcast, Major General A.K. Sirwat, who's a defense expert. Thank you so much, sir. Very good morning to you. So we are, discussing this very strategic move that has in fact been taken by the West Bengal government of handing over 120 land parcels to the center. Now, we are looking at 4 big moves, sir. We're looking at a revival of the World War II airstrips. We are also looking at expanding railway networks. We have a contingency plan in place where we are trying to develop an underground railway network so that our supply is not disrupted in any kind of untoward incident. We are also looking at introducing 3 more army garrisons in the near the Indo-Bangladesh border. How are you looking at these 4 moves? How strategically important are these moves?
These are strategically very important. For our viewers, you must tell it, the Chicken Neck is a very narrow strip which is connecting the mainland India with Northeast. And this is very, very vulnerable. In the sense, one, if remember in 2017, that the Chinese have come up till Doklam, which is there in Bhutan. And from there, they can interfere with Chicken Neck by even including by their artillery. Though India has pushed it back, but still the reports are there. They are constructing a number of roads and which are very close to Tumbi Valley and also the Chicken Neck. Now, having said that, the importance of this is, in case of war and emergency, that this part is very vulnerable with the Chinese aggression, including if there is a collision between China and Bangladesh. Having understood this, one has to make sure now the communication system improves and our security system improves. How it has improved? Now, the West Bengal government has given 120 acres of land for now improvement of one in national highways are now given from CPW to National Highway Authority. They will be taking care. Second thing is the railway lines administrative. Earlier it is 2 to 4 lines, now it will be made 6 lines. And there will be underground railway line which will be there approximately 25 kilometers, which will be connecting the mainland India with the northeast, so that the supply chain is not disrupted even in case of war and emergency, in case you should get RT shelling from the Chinese. That's a very strategically important. Second thing which is done is that the 3 areas where new garrison will be coming. Dhubri in Assam, Chopra in West Bengal and Kishangarh in Bihar. Now these have a multiple task. One is that it will improve the security. It also improves especially like Dhubri and all, having served as commanding the battalion, that the illegal migration can also be stopped, which is coming from Bangladesh. At the same time, these garrisons now give you a defensibility, especially in this basically Siliguri Corridor. The another thing very important is all these airstrips which were non-usable, especially after Second World War, have been reactivated and now they can be used. The basic aim of the present government is to make sure that we are not vulnerable in Chicken Neck and we are able to sustain any attack coming from our adversary of China and our connectivity not disrupted, our supply chain continues, at the same time our defendability. Remember that India is also going for Kaladan multi-modal project, which goes via sea from Calcutta to Myanmar, Tuakapu, and then come up to Mizoram. So we are trying to make as many connectivity as feasible. Second thing is we are now making sure our railway and road connectivity so assured in this Siliguri corridor, that the Chicken Neck, that there is no disruption as far as the Chinese are concerned. I think it's a very good move. It is a force multiplier. Remember, this is the second move done by the West Bengal government. Earlier, what they have done is they have given the land basically for making the fence on Indo-Bangladesh border. So, having said that, one can say that now change of the government in West Bengal has made a tremendous impact, because we, as far as the national security is concerned, there can't be any politics. We have to understand the Chinese are improving their infrastructure very close to our line of action control. And therefore, the threat is increasing every year. And that's why we have to make sure our Siliguri corridor becomes impregnable, and we improve our roads, we improve our railway line, we improve our air connectivity, so that as far as the mainland India is concerned, it is always connected with the northeast, and our defendability increase. And at the same time, we are looking toward Bangladesh. We are making more garrison. Our security will improve. So I suppose it is a force multiplier, and it is an excellent move.
All right. Thank you so much, General, for your expert perspective.